blood and the undertow. So toxic but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. And they take you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear. I am in misery. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones, I'm losing it all. Stuck in my head, I am in misery. Deep inside myself, all I get, my only family. Stuck in the grave, can someone rescue me? I'm burning alive, I got it, I am in. I am in misery.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NXT, of Taking Over, covering NXT. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined, as always, by the natural Astrid Bizarro. How you doing, Astrid?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
So today's a weird day, because in Boston, we lost a bit of a local legend. There's a place where everybody knows your name. Here in Boston. It's one of the few touristy things I've ever done in the city. When I had somebody come to the city, it was like, I have to go here. This is a holy grail moment of the city of Boston for me. And that was Cheers Bar. Cheers was a long-running TV show in the 80s and the 90s. It ran 11 seasons. It had 275 episodes. Its finale is the second largest non-sports television show ever. It had over, I want to say, 80 million people watched the finale of Cheers in 1993. And we lost one of the most wonderful people on that show today, Norm. George Wendt, the actor who played Norm, is a little bit of a local hero because he was the one that everybody knew. As soon as he walked into the bar, they all would yell, Norm! And I feel like that here. When people come in, we say hi to all of our friends every time they come into our streams, whether it be Bobby Munson, whether it be newcomers like Zach here, STG, Millie, Bobby Stats. We all have our people who come in here, and there are Norm. Mm-hmm. And so with the death of Norm today at the age of 76, it's been a rough day for me because I kind of grew up watching that TV show. I've watched every episode of that TV show twice. It's because, again, the show takes place in a Boston bar. And it's a place that feels like home. It feels like a community. And it made the local watering hole or our local establishment feel like home. And to let you in on some of the details, that's the reason why this was originally named our local establishment. Because of the fact that a lot of us who kind of grew up with this thought of our favorite watering holes or our favorite places to mingle, being that establishment. And for me, in my mind, that place is always make it feel like Cheers. Make it feel like it's a place that everybody can come to and belong. And so losing George today just, makes the world a little bit sad. All right, now that I got all the mushy stuff out of the way, wow, NXT was on something tonight. That first hour, they did a whole lot and very little to build Sunday's pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ed, way to bring the feels to kick off the show. I mean, I told you and asked I wanted to do something. I also told both of you that I didn't want to tell you because I didn't know if either of you would let me do it once I did it. So.
This is your place as much as it is ours. So.
I know, but trust isn't. We got Logan James coming in and saying hello.
Okay.
Hello, Trick Williams win. I think so. I think Trick is going to win on Sunday. I really do. But again, you'll get our thoughts on Sunday's show. On either the show will either air pre-recorded on Saturday or Sunday morning after either sometime on Saturday or Sunday morning after Point of View, and we will be joined. And I've been told this is confirmed. By Blair from Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast. Very excited. We wanted to have Blair on last time, but unfortunately something came up. So we're very excited to have Blair from Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast. Also from Love Wrestling. He does a show over there about, I believe it's about the independents. I think it's Exposure, right? For Exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Over on Love Wrestling. So very excited to have Blair here. And as of course, we've been talking about it for weeks. The besties are taking over. As DC Hendricks and Amanda Savage are both going to be here as we talk all things Battleground once Battleground is over. And, of course, you can find their reviews of things over at bodyslam.net, where Astra does some writing sometimes and some interviews sometimes. So Bodyslam is a good friend of the channel. We greatly appreciate that, them coming to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean... Like I said, I kind of intermingled Cheers in our local establishment combined. So that's why I kind of felt like it was something I wanted to do tonight on the show. NXT wanted to start in a very different way. They wanted to make people excited. They didn't want to make people sad. And Shawn Legacy to beat Adonis and Von Evans is certainly a way to do that. Shawn Legacy becoming the first WWE ID talent to win a match on a televised product of WWE that is not Evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive for him. This match was sensational. I couldn't take enough notes here. That beginning of the match between Javon and Shawn Legacy was sensational. The quick indie style with the constant pinfalls, but again, nobody hitting anything super special. No big finishers, no nothing like that. I thought it was very interesting and fun the way they did that. The two of them working against Ashante the Adonis, knowing he's the odd person out, that they wanted this to be a singles match and he was involved in this. Ricky Saints' facials on the outside. Sensational. And I thought the finish of the match was really good. I loved the idea of having Javon get involved with this Ricky Saints, Ethan Page stuff because of, you're again tying back in the Ethan Page, Javon Evans stuff, and you're also tying in the Javon Evans wants a shot at Ricky Saints. So it kind of makes sense that he took that dive, take that opportunity. And I thought for a split second, I was like, oh my God, no, they're going to let Ashante win. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. And then Shawn Legacy, out of nowhere, gets the big win, gets the massive opportunity. Mm-hmm. And now he's going to be the second WWE ID talent because Swipe Right counts as one talent when they're a tag team. To be getting a title opportunity on NXT programming, as we'll see. We won't see it next week, as next week will be Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. Mm-hmm. But I'm assuming in 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe at the what's it called? The one in the June show that they're doing with AAA. Worlds Collide. We might even see it there. Either way, I think it's great that Shawn Legacy got the win here. I thought this is the best Ashante's ever looked, and I thought it was. While I didn't want him here, I thought he played a very pivotal role in this matchup of being the guy to slow everything down with these kind of high-flying, exciting athletes, to kind of slow things down and to bring it back to earth. You had Ashante the Adonis here to do it, to bring the heel heat because you have two baby faces. As much as I didn't want Ashante in this match, the more the match went on, the more I appreciated having Ashante in this match because he added another layer to this match without being a pivotal part of it.
I think that's one thing that the moment they advertised this match, my mindset went automatically. Ashante's here to get the pin, whether it's Javon winning or Shawn winning. Ashante's just here to take that pin. That was my thought process from the get go. Could I have done without him in the match? Yes, at the same time, because I feel like Shawn Legacy versus Javon Evans would have been a match great by itself in itself. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait to see that match after tonight's performance. But at the same time, I am glad they did it a three-way because one thing that NXT does very well is multi-person matches. They got the formula down, and you can see it even in this match. There was non-stop action in this match. I couldn't keep up with them to even take notes. So at that moment, I just sat down and enjoyed it. I really did. But that ending, like towards the end, that sequence there that Javon goes for the cutter, and then Ethan goes and attacks Ricky, and then Javon bounces on top of Ethan and Ricky and everybody else that was holding them back as well. In that moment with Ashante's on the top row, I went, there's no freaking way Ashante's winning this match because he's the one taking that pin. That was my mindset all along. And then Shawn Legacy's finisher, whatever he calls it, that was beautiful to watch. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad he got that win too. I was expecting Javon to win it, but for me, my mindset was just like Ashante's getting that pin no matter what. But again, I feel like this is, like you said, the best I've seen him. He didn't feel out of place with the guys either. I feel like they played off really well, all three of them against each other. It was a great choice of an opener, to be honest.
Yeah, all three guys lived up, and Get the Tables is here. Make sure you watch Get the Tables. They're doing WCW reviews after the Monday Night Raw reviews now, I found out the other night. So go ahead and check that out. Check them out for all of your watch-along needs. And remember, also Mike the Ref, good friend of the channel, does all kinds of AEW watch-alongs along with his WWE 2K25 My GM content afterwards. So make sure you put them both on. Put Good Tables on one side of your screen, Mike the Ref on the other. Go ahead and enjoy both of them because they both offer such fantastic insight. We're grateful for Tony to jump in and talk about it. Yeah, Shawn Legacy is legit. I had just found out about him a few months before he got signed to the WWE ID program, when I got to see him wrestle JT Dunn live. And at Chaotic, they brought him in and he wrestled JT Dunn, and it was a sensational match. And that was my first opportunity to see Shawn Legacy, and I'm happy to see him here, and I'm happy to see him get a big win. For the first time, we see an ID talent get a win. And it won't be the first young star that we see try to make an impact tonight. Lots of TNA little references here. Making an impact. Total nonstop action during the match. We see backstage Ava congratulating Stevie, but tells her and Stone to go ahead and go get the two of them and bring them to her office and get them separated because she has to talk to them. And she introduces us to the LFG winners, who are the wrong two winners. I'll just say that right now. If I could have picked the winners, it would have been both the other semifinalists. But both the other semifinalists will be back next season on LFG to continue getting their opportunity. Zena Sterling and Shiloh Hill will be back next season, from what I understand, based on what WWE has told us, to join season 2 of LFG, which will be the Mickey James role will be Mrs. Undertaker. Because reasons. But Jasper Troy did tell us that he is going to be making an impact tonight, while we'll be seeing their debuts within the next few weeks, according to Ava. I don't have anything wrong with Tyra. I think she's fine. I think she's going to be a good talent. She's again, she's the Kurt Angle not so much a protege, but she's of that mold. She is a former, medal winning wrestler at the Olympics, so she has that Kurt Angle cred of being an Olympic medalist. So it's nice to see her on here, and hopefully she does well. She can't do any worse than the last Olympic medalist we had the WWE tried to bring in that we won't talk about. He didn't do so hot. He got run out real fast.
He should not be named.
He shall not be named. We see a Jordan Grace vignette preparing for Vecchio, and I wanted to ask you, Asher, what do you think about this promo and the video package that went along with it, everything?
I really liked it just because one thing that, as Jordan points out during the promo, she says when they're talking about the hottest free agents, often people talk about Julia and Stephanie, but I feel like they kind of forget about Jordan being that person that jumped around the same time they kind of did as well. And I feel like at the same time thinking of how do I say this? It's like how hot the conversation was when Julia and Stephanie arrived, that I feel a lot of people kind of forget about Jordan in that aspect of it. And I'm glad to see her saying, look, I wasn't just TNA, like I was in Japan, I was in Mexico too, like what she did. Like I've kind of like done it before in a way, like same but different at the same time. And I'm glad to see this kind of like almost like a profile on Jordan and her career so far. And I'm glad that at least we can see like the TNA footage being a part of it as well, and being like seeing her as a focal point of the Knockouts division there too. But again, I feel like she did great. I love the way she expressed herself about everything. I love how she compared herself to Stephanie's. Like we're basically kind of a reflection of each other. We both dominated our own territories, but we're now here in NXT around the same time. So I feel like it was very interesting from her point of view too.
Yeah, I love this promo. I thought it was a fantastic way to get Jordan Grace over. I thought it was a nice way to tie in that Jordan Grace is competition for Stephanie McCoy, as we've been seeing just so much of this being Stephanie's going to win, Stephanie's going to steamroll. But they've been bringing up some of these NXT women at such a high rate now. It's like, are they going to do it one more time? Is this the end of Stephanie to just put Jordan Grace at the top of that division and let her run that division like she ran the TNA Knockouts division? The only thing I will say, and she said it and Stephanie said it, and we have to reiterate this. While NXT has the best women's division in all of North America, they do not have the best women's division in the world. Stardom still exists. Just so we're clear, yes, Stardom has lost all of their big names. Thecla's gone. Julia's gone. A lot of some of their talent went up north when they went to Marigold.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. The greatest women's wrestling still takes place in Stardom. NXT is the next behind them. And then behind that is Pro Wrestling Eve. But don't get it twisted. NXT is the best in North America or outside of Japan. Like, you have to add one more qualifier to the best women's division in, because things like Stardom still exist. And you cannot, with a straight face, say that you're better than Stardom.
That's true.
To bring things down a peg, we did have Lola Vice trying to hype up Stephanie Vaquer, which I hated, and Lola in her really shitty spray tan. Like, how do you need a spray tan when all you do is suntan in Florida? Why would you have such a shitty spray tan? And if that's not a spray tan, that is the worst tan I've ever seen.
Yes, that was orange at that point.
Yeah, like, it's just the wrong color. Like even if it's a real tan, it's just a bad look. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't look good. Yeah. Then Jacy and Fallon get involved, and it just leads to more dissension inside Terrible Toxic and a match between Lola Vice and Fallon and Henley. Great. Logan says Mayu Iwatani and Uchima Yashishita have not shown up at NXT. No, because they're both, as far as I understand, still signed to contracts in Stardom. I think Iwatani is still technically in Stardom, isn't she? We'll have to.
I know that's one of them that One of them
Send a
just
message
left,
to
I think.
send a message to Mel. I don't. Well, I know Mina just left, and I know Thekla just left, but I don't think Maya just yet. Yeah, I think Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. I think it main men's battleground. It's either that or it's the women's match. One of the two. And then we got to the rap concert.
Wait. I wanted to point out something though before you get to that.
Okay.
One thing I don't understand too. I know we've been seeing it for weeks now, so it's nothing new. But this whole thing with Fallon and Jacy, I just don't understand why they decided to go this route when I feel like they're breaking up a lot of teams lately. I just don't understand why this is happening to begin with. I get that both better off as singles competitors, just what we all wanted to begin with. But at the same time, it's like, why? I don't understand what's the point of putting a team together just to break them up. Like, that's one thing I don't like about WWE, the way they decide to do stuff like this. It's like, I'm not saying they were perfect or anything like that, but I feel like they were doing very well as a team. So it's like, why break them up? I feel like we're getting rid of women's tag teams now because Chemical X is done, Metagross is done, and now they're going to be done soon. It's like, at this point, I feel like there's not going to be anybody left for this tag division. And you're going to do Evolution later, too. It frustrates me every time I see them like arguing with each other. I get where they're going with it, but it's frustrating too.
Well, I mean, if you believe WWE, they have plenty of women's tag teams. I mean, I don't know what those tag teams are, but apparently they have plenty, according to the insiders.
Mm-hmm.
Trick Williams has a rap concert with his song "Average Joe." This would have been better if they weren't playing the audio track that Trick Williams recorded for YouTube underneath Trick Williams' live version of Average Joe. All right. STG bragged me a bit for being a West Texas redneck and thinking that rap is crap. I enjoy good rap music. That being said, that's not what this was.
Is that what I thought it was going to be when they announced it, to be honest? When he started, I just went, I like having him have the crowd participation involved in there, but it's not what I'm used to from Trick. I don't know if it's the route because of the character change or what it was. But it's one of those moments you kind of expect it to be, I don't want to say the same, but like similar to what Joe Hendry did. You get the people like really chant the song with you at the end of it when it's just a brand new song, if that makes sense. It's like the song that he performed tonight, nobody knew about it, but they were chanting about it later on when he was quiet, he was done with the performance. So that's what I was hoping for. What happened with Trick, and then it didn't. So I was very disappointed.
Yeah, it's an intriguing one. I didn't like the song. I'll be honest, I also didn't like Joe Hendry's a whole lot either. I didn't like either one, really. I prefer Joe Hendry's to Trick's, but that's mostly because I don't think Joe Hendry is Average Joe. And there weren't a lot of digs at Joe Hendry in that song, so it's kind of tough to go with. Thankfully, we move on quickly to Shawn Spears versus Josh Briggs. And during the initial commercial break where this match happened, we got something fun that I got to tell Astrid about during the show because she didn't hear it because it was during the commercial break on Netflix. The first time Corey Gray, somebody's dying over at Astrid's house, and I think that's mini Astrid going hype over the fact I'm assuming about the Handmaid's Tale and the Taylor's version being on the Handmaid's Tale, right? I'm assuming that's what's going on over there.
No,
okay.
It's too late.
Anyways, Corey Graves first met Josh Briggs on an indie show where Josh Briggs took on Damian Priest. He lost to Damian Priest, but he put up a good effort against Damian Priest that night. And Graves says that's the first time he noticed Josh Briggs, and he kept an eye on him because of the fact that he saw a lot in him that night that he sees in him now. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's good. Would have been nice to have had that on the actual broadcast as opposed to the Netflix broadcast, especially since Damian Priest just got inducted into I believe it's the Bronx Hall of Fame, correct?
Yep. He has a street under his name too.
Yeah. Ashton is now going to have to go to New York strictly to visit Damien Priest-Way.
Yep.
The match was good here, though. Shocker. Shawn Spears has good match. I mean, it seems to be the thing we always say when Shawn Spears has a match, but it's why he's a wrestling trainer. It's why NXT is very happy to work a little bit with flatbacks, to have both him and Tyler here. I thought the match was great. Briggs lost, but feels good coming out of it because of the way it happened with Niko trying to attack him, and he throws Niko under the stairs. And then Izzi gets this fantastic looking kick to the face of Josh Briggs. The fact that she could get that leg up that high and that extended, like she full extensioned on that too. Like sensational work from Izzi Dame, by the way, here. Also, Izzi Dame's jacket, top notch. I don't know if is that new, or is that just something I keep missing when she comes out with the rest of them? But that jacket tonight with like the lettering that's based on the lettering that they have in the Shawn Spears video that plays as like his Titantron, like the truth will be revealed and pain through pleasure and all that kind of shit that they have. He has the same lettering type thing on the jacket that she wears to the ring tonight. I love the culling. Shocker. I'm still in love with the culling. I think that they're doing great work. I loved everything about this match. The post-match beatdown where Briggs tries to get his back and he starts getting beaten down. Hank Tank comes to make the save, and now we got a 6-man tag for Battleground. Honestly, it's not the match I wanted Battleground, but I'll take it. It's fine. It'll be a great match for me to go and get some food and refill my water and go to the bathroom.
Dang. It's not Tony and Stacks, is this one?
It might be both.
I was hoping you'd pick one.
Like, it's hard because, like, Tony and Stacks, the story I don't like. In this, I have to suffer through Hank Tank again. I just really don't want to suffer through Hank Tank. Because 4 out of 6 of these people are really, really good people that I want to watch wrestle. Josh Briggs and the culling, that's what I want to watch. I just don't want to have deal with Hank Tank in the middle of it.
I know. I totally get it. It's not what I thought that we're gonna announce tonight. I thought that we're gonna announce something like that for like next week, most likely. So that's what I was kind of hoping for. But
I saw Hank Tank once, and even I couldn't find the silver lining. We get another Kelani Zaria Soul segment where Kalani's double checking that if she wins this match, she gets a match that apparently is going to happen at Battleground. I was very unsure, like where this match was. Like we're going to have this match at Battleground. I'm like, wait, what? What?
it's one of those that it was kind of confusing because it did feel like a Battleground thing, but it also like you know how it is with NXT. They always take one of the titles off and put it in the week after the pay-per-view. So I thought that maybe they were gonna do it with this one because it was kind of like too close, like to the like go home show. So I was not expecting it to be a part of the pay-per-view at the same time, but I'm glad it is.
Yeah, I thought it was. It'll be a fine match for the pay-per-view. Backstage, we see Chase U getting ready with Chase, Uriah, and the other guy, otherwise known as Kale Dixon.
Yay!
You know how I'm going to remember it? It's one, it's the Mel thing, and 2, it's because Corey Graves said tonight that his parents named him after the most a medium vegetable. And again, I don't know if that was on broadcast or if that was on a commercial break. But Corey Graves did say that on commentary tonight, which I thought was funny. We come back from commercial break, and Thea's trying to talk to Tatum with her eye with the fucking tape on it. And the funny thing is, I saw this on a video thing that they did earlier about, who you more excited for, Trick Williams or Joe Hendry. And I sent a still of Thea to Astra. And Astra goes, "Oh my God, what happened to Thea's eye?" And I just said one word back, Tatum. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, that."
I forgot. really forgot. I'm like, what the heck happened to her eye? Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe that I forgot. But who wouldn't want to forget that?
I love this segment though. I do love this segment where Thea's like, "What the hell, Tatum? What's going on here? Why are you doing that?" And she's like, "Look, you have to understand. Everybody leaves. You know, you don't understand what it's like to lose everyone." And I'm like, "Yeah, like you don't understand. Fucking Tatum lost her husband and both of her tag team partners. Like she's the Black Widow of NXT right now. She's almost as bad as Robert Stone." Anyways, but to Thea's credit, she's like, no, Tatum, I get that. Like, I've lost everybody who I considered special to me. And she's not wrong. She lost Riley, released. She lost Duke, released. She lost Chase, new Chishu. Like, she's kind of by herself too. Like, I get Tatum and Thea kind of like connecting over this. And then out of fucking nowhere, like a Randy Orton RKO, Jada Parker comes ramming her ass into the scene and hypnotics the fuck out of Thea Hale. And then, if she's not already a heel enough, she's like, "Oh, Tatum, you know, what's wrong?" You know, and she's like, "Yeah, I feel for you." And she's like, "Really?" She's like, "No, you weirdo." And she walks away. I'm like, fuck you, Jada. Fuck you.
Not the thing that here when this part happens with Thea and Tatum, when Tatum says that part of like, "Oh, you can't relate to me because of what I went through," and then she's like, kind of like, "Hello, of all people, I can relate to you," and then I went, "Oh, she lost her two partners too. Yikes!" I'm like, I didn't it didn't click for me at the moment because I was thinking like Duke and Riley were not released at the same time, so I didn't make that connection. Versus like the Shotzi GG one happened around the same time, so you cannot like put them together grouped. So I didn't think about it when she's like of all people I can relate to you, and I was like, oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Just rip off the damn bang day though, please.
Also, be on the lookout, everybody, as Javier Bernal is recording. If you live in Florida, go ahead and message Javier to go ahead and get to potentially be in his music video, like
I don't know. I'm just
getting
getting details.
Seeing Queen Astra trying to go out there. I'll be honest, I'm gonna throw some tea out there for all the people who watch the show. We reached out to Javier Bernal for an interview. The price isn't that bad, but we're discussing it. I'm trying to get the Ogre Lord to give us the Olay credit card so that we can get this to happen, because me and Ashford have laid out about 15 really good questions for Javier Bernal. So we're hoping that we can try to get this to happen. But again, we're going to try to get the Ogre Lord to give us the credit card, because it's just hard because there's no return on investment for it. Like, it's great for views. It's great for subscribers to have this great interview with Javier Bernal, especially if it would be the first one. However, most of the channels who do those kinds of things, who pay for interviews, get a return on investment because they're monetized channels. So it's tough to do that the other way around. So, but we're still looking into it. We haven't closed the door on it. If you want it, in the comments, let us know on my channel, on our local establishment channel, on Ash's YouTube channel. Let us know if that's something you want us to do. If you want us to go ahead and do that, let us know, and we'll go ahead and we'll try to make it happen.
But now that you're talking about like channel getting monetized and everything, to continue on the behind the curtain part, we have the subscribers. We just need those watch hours, and we're not too far off from those watch hours than what the Orgaler told us last time. So if you haven't, please watch the shows, like even the day after, watch them in the background, run a playlist, whatever it is, because we're very close to the watch hour, which is the last part that we need to get monetized. See, he's confirming it. We're very, very close, and that's all we need. So if you can help us out by just watching the shows, it's like one thing that we like about Ollie here is the fact that there's a show for everybody. If you don't watch NXT, at least, there's other shows you can watch. There's sports on Sundays, and there's Marvel. There's something that you're going to connect to in this platform in some way, shape, or form. So find whatever you like here, end up watching that show and running on a playlist and put in the background, because we're very close to that. And that would help a lot, especially to give us some of that money back if we do go to that interview route. So please.
Yeah. And why we're in here, we're promoting ourselves. When we're saying that you've got lots of shows that you could watch, here are the shows that we've got coming up this week.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling and the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, I'm sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you anyway. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time, I cross the lines just to tell you. Don't even wait, don't even say that I drown with a child playing in the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
Yeah, so those are all the things you can check out. Remember, we also have a pre and post show for NXT Battleground coming this weekend as well, along with our Double or Nothing coverage that we may or may not have, depending on if the AEW team is going to be around for the show. It's a tough one with a back-to-back weekend, because remember, we've got Saturday night's main event, we've got Double or Nothing, we've got all kinds of potential coverage this weekend for all these shows. So all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So just make sure you check out. Yeah. We have to be better about putting it in the calendar channel too. But yeah, there are a couple things.
I mean,
it's okay.
another thing that is not in the calendar as well.
You're
Bobby
muted.
and I are recording. How am I muted?
You're muted to us. I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I got nothing.
No, nothing.
I cannot hear you.
That's so weird.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me or no?
Killer Cut's Final Destination Bloodlines review this Friday with
Yes.
Jamie something. I don't know what Jamie's last name is, but it'll be fun.
I was gonna say I'm not
This
muted.
is a
You can
movie
hear me,
I'm
Bobby.
looking forward to going and seeing. It's on my list. I know. Ashford's trying to talk to me and tell me all the information. I've got nothing. Ashford will be back in just a moment. Bobby is confirming that he can hear both of us, so that's fine. It's going to be great.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can still not hear you. Is it a me problem?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on. I can barely hear you.
Really?
Let me get out and come back. You go ahead and talk about OTM versus Chase U 2.0 while I try to figure this out.
Just making sure, Bobby, you can hear me, you said, I think, right? Just to make sure it's not me, because I can hear it. What is going on? Bobby, you're the only one that can confirm. Let me know if you can hear me for sure. I don't know. Okay. Okay, thank you. Because I'm like, I'm not muted. I can see it at the bottom that shows I'm not muted. So I know it wasn't me. Oh, jeez. But yes, as Ed was saying, we do have a review of Final Destination coming up with Jamie from Aria Magazine this weekend that we're going to release sometime this weekend. I don't have a date for it yet, so I have to double check with the overlord when we have a space to release it. Can you hear me now?
I can. I'm assuming. Let's go on a wild guess and assume it's Friday.
Most likely, but I don't know.
Killer Cuts almost always releases on a Friday.
Okay, but I was gonna say it was you because I wasn't muted, just so you know.
That's fine.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Shockingly, Friday. I was right. Hold on. I got a clip for this. Hold on.
Oh no.
I'm right! I'm right! I'm in the right!
I'm happy. You're welcome for the clip.
Anytime. Go ahead and play.
But yeah, we do have the Final Destination Bloodlines review coming up for that. And then we're gonna release Sinners and Woman in the Yard right after that, I believe is the release order. I don't have dates for those though, because we're gonna leave it a little gap in between there.
The horror movie slate is killing it right now.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Final Destination, please do. Definitely great.
Tony Todd's last lines. Oh, it hurt me to my soul. Every other Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase U 2.0 got squashed by OTM here.
Mm-hmm.
I liked watching OTM here. I thought it was great. I thought OTM killed it here. I thought they were great. They looked as good as they ever did. They were picking. The weird thing is they were picking up so much steam before they just disappeared off the fucking face of the earth. That I'm like it's not like they were bad. Like they were doing good work. They were doing They were being interesting. They were part of the December show that I was there when they had the the 4-way Santa's Battle Royal tag thingy that they did. I love this. As Astrid says, I'm going to let her talk about it, but Kale Dixon did indeed have some vintage Ren Sinclair attire tonight.
Kale, we need to have a discussion. Please take off that gear. That was terrible. That doesn't look good on you. I'm just saying, please change it. Jeez. I wasn't entirely a fan of Ren doing it, and that looks even worse on him. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I did like the beginning though of like having the Uriah and Kale kind of be like that comedic kind of tag team that we got, like the little preview that we got that was a tag team, the little bit there. Because Uriah had one of the guys from OTM like a submission, and he needed some help, and Kale just like kind of gave him that boost that he needed at that moment. That was funny. And it was like at the same time, I kind of wish OTM hadn't done the squash match because I wanted to see more of that, more of them as a team and see that reflected there. And I feel like we got a little bit of it and then it was over. It was like, dang it. I understand why OTM did the squash at the same time, but I wanted to see more of them as a comedic act at the same time.
Yeah, I think it was hard because this match had to serve two masters. It had to introduce us to this new Chase 2.0 tag team, but it also had to make OTM look like big bad bastards who can instantly go to the top of the tag team division. So it was really in a middle limbo. And the only way you can really do that is this kind of semi squash match where you have OTM mostly dominate the match, but at the same time have Chase U put up some kind of a fight. I think they did a good job doing what they needed to do to make this match work. I'm very excited to see both of these teams in the future. Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon look like they have something, but OTM got the big win they needed to get done with Andre Chase and Chase U and to move on to, getting to Hank and Tank and getting to that top of that tag team division where they belong. So I think they did both parts equally good. We then move on to the face-to-face, Femi and Myles Borne. This was fantastic. Every piece of this, including the odd part, all fucking worked perfectly. Myles comes out by himself. Oba comes out by himself. Oba gets on the mic first and he says, "Look, Myles, you're an uplifting story. I didn't believe in you. These people didn't believe in you. But you believe in you, and you got this opportunity. So congratulations to you for getting this opportunity. However, as uplifting as this is going to be for you, for the people like you who deal with limitations and people not believing in them, as great as all that is, at the end of the day, this is going to go badly for you. This is not a Disney movie. I'm going to destroy you. You are not going to be the NXT champion." He says, "You want me to treat you like everyone else? Fine. Join the line. Join the list of the victims of the ruler, the victims of the destroyer, the victims of the NXT champion Femi." Myles comes back home with, "Look, the rest of the Candy crew might not be out here with me tonight, but they're helping me train. They're getting me ready for you. Yes, I may be just another victim. Yes, I may be just another name that follows to Femi. But remember, I shocked the world once. I can shock the world again. I've been proving people wrong my entire life. My doctor, my friend, my family. Doing this has proven so many people wrong. Hell, I probably even proved some of the NXT coaches wrong when they didn't believe in me. When they didn't think that I could do this." And I love this. It sets the stage for this match. Well, yes, I think Obafemi is going to absolutely destroy Myles Borne in this match. Not a squash match, but I think it's not. Myles isn't going to seem like a really. He's going to get some near falls, but he's not really going to be like a Javon Evans level threat to Obafemi.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Myles is leaving, Jasper Troy comes in and just nails Obafemi, wrecks him a little bit. I was surprised, but I like it. I like that they're initially positioning him towards the top of this division. I don't know a whole lot about Jasper Troy. I don't know what his in-ring skills are going to look like. I don't know what we're going to see out of him. They may not have him do anything with Obafemi, but it puts him on a radar for the rest of the locker room, and more importantly for us, the audience, that this guy means business. That Booker T has taught him well as he was on Team Booker for LFG. I like the idea of having Jasper lay out Obafemi just a little bit, especially from behind when Obafemi's complete attention is on Myles Borne at the bottom of the ramp. I thought this was a sensational way to do this because it doesn't make Oba look weak by being attacked from behind, which is the only way you can do this, is to make sure Oba doesn't look weak, because otherwise it makes if it makes Oba look weak, it's bad. But because it's an attack from behind, it's quick. He gets out when he starts to kind of badmouth him. Myles Borne slides in, Jasper slides out. Jasper almost made a Shockmaster level of botch here by almost falling over the steps on his back pedal when he was running away from Myles Borne, which would have just put the icing on the fucking cake. However, Myles tries to help Obafemi up. Obafemi, in staying with his character, slaps his hand away. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. I'm the ruler. And then Myles he's like, fine. And he's getting ready to leave, and he picks up that NXT championship, and he just stares at it. And Oba doesn't attack him. He doesn't do anything violent. All he does is hold out his hand. That quiet, just give me back my championship hand. And Myles looks, and he looks at the title, and he looks at Oba, and he hands it over. You don't need to have a heel be violent. Sometimes you can just have a heel look menacing and be a big, tall bastard and just have that feel of a ruler, of a destroyer. I thought this was the best go home for any of the matches that we're seeing on Sunday. This is better than the Trick Williams Joe Hendry stuff. This is better than the Stephanie and Julia stuff. Stephanie and Jordan stuff. Because I feel like this is true go home. Stephanie and Jordan don't really have a go home because they're just doing promos and vignettes. Because they don't know how they want to tell that story. So they're just kind of doing it via Mutual Appreciation Society. I loved everything about this. I thought this was the best use of the way to do this. I thought this face-to-face was fantastic. This match sold this segment sold this match. Even though I know the outcome, I'm down for the ride.
I mean, you basically said it all, but yeah, that face-off was really well done. I like the fact that we get being the cocky heel that he is, and Miles talking about his character and the way that people see him, and even not having his disability stop him from pursuing this. I love the way that the back and forth they have with each other. I do love that lineup. Like, this is not a Disney movie, being that we're in Orlando, of course. So that was very, very
Yeah.
clever of Oba as well. But yeah, that part with Jasper, I thought it was Dark State coming out because he's wearing all black as well as he's coming out, and even I think his face was almost like covered at one point. So I really thought it was Dark State. So I was expecting the other three to come out, and then when they don't, I went, "Who is this?" And that's when I noticed it was Jasper, and I was like, wow, like what a way to really make an impact, as he said he was going to, like really catapulting himself up to the top. I feel like he did what he had to do, and that was just amazing to watch. Because I feel like if it like me that I didn't watch the show, I seen clips here and there on social media. Now I want to know about Jasper because imagine him versus Oba now, like that's amazing. Um, like you said, I like the fact that he attacks Oba from behind. and he's taking that moment. He was waiting for his time, and he took that perfect time in there to really target Oba the way he did. I like that Myles being the babyface that he is. Like he went right away and he went in the ring. He was not one of those. I was like, he could get weakened for me for Sunday, so let me go the other way. No, he decided to go in there and really go after Jasper. Him holding the championship, this is one of those like once you hold the championship up in the air like that kind of moment, that's definitely not gonna happen. But I do like the interaction here between him and Oba as well, and the way that Oba's like, give me that championship because that is mine, and being the way he is, but just using the body language there as well. I feel like it was very well done from beginning to end. I really enjoyed it, and like even though we know the outcome, I like that this is one of those matches that we're definitely gonna still enjoy no matter what.
Yeah, I love Oba Femi matches, but I think this Myles Borne, it's been so intriguing the way that they've pushed Myles to the top of this division without feeling like it's undeserved. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a one-off. It's not the most important match of Oba Femi's championship reign, but it's such a good way to just get him to where he needs to be, to get Myles to feel like a main event star. Ava mates, there's Ricky Saints and Ethan Page yelling and screaming at each other in Ava's office. Ava mates the match for next week. The show that will now be taking place back at the CWC and no longer taking place in Tampa at the Yingling Center, as that event has been canceled. Ooh, that's bad.
Yep.
The only reason you cancel an event that close to the date is because ticket sales were not what you wanted and you'd rather refund than go ahead and put on an empty. This is what you do, wrestling companies, when you have a show that's not selling enough tickets. You don't put it on TV.
That I noticed though too, I feel like they also made a mistake of scheduling this in Tampa to begin with, because they have a full weekend of things. Like people can only do so much. And imagine we have Saturday night's main event. We do have I think the Raw, if I'm not mistaken, Battleground. And then NXT on top of it, like that's a lot. And it's like I'd rather do, if anything, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then keeping it there because of the holiday Monday, which is another thing for a lot of people. They're off on Monday, so they're able to do the show on Monday. But then Tuesday they go back to the regular schedule, like things. So obviously, I feel like the Tuesday show. I feel like the same time. I feel like I wouldn't have put it there to begin with. That would have been a huge factor into the attendance. The fact that there's a holiday weekend. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a big mistake, and you're right. It is a 3-day event, and it is Saturday. And by the way, Saturday night's main event card, again, kind of predictable, but a banger card. Astrid's favorite Puerto Rican wrestler, Logan Paul, taking on Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena is taking on R-Truth. It's such an intriguing set of matches, those two matches in and of themselves. And again, we'd be remiss if we're talking about things that happened on Monday night to not send our well wishes to Zoe Stark for that horrific looking injury from last night. Just absolutely fantastic. One of those two shows, Logan, is not confirmed. I'm not going to put that comment up because one of those two shows is not confirmed. And until we actually, I know everybody and their mother is talking about this show like it's confirmed. But until WWE tells us it is or it isn't, we're not talking about WWE Evolution.
Yep.
We had a Tony D promo here that I thought was really good. Again, this is the best thing we've seen for this feud in the entirety of this feud since the turn. Since the turn, this is the only good thing that's come of it. Tony D says, look, Stacks, I've been trying to understand what you did, but I can't because I'm not a coward. Another interesting line he says here is that betrayal hurts so much because it can never come from an enemy. Because you can only be betrayed by those who you trust and you care about. He also says that you worried about yourself, and that's why you'll never sit in the big chair. This is great. This is fantastic. The problem with this entire storyline is we have zero rationale why Stacks did what he did. We have not gotten a full-length understanding of what Stacks is doing and why. And at the end of the day, that's why this feud means nothing. Also, by the way, for those that don't know, Stax has been debuting a new look on the Florida Loop, where he's dressed in all black, looking like he's part of the Janet Jackson crew from way back in the day. Not quite Rhythm Nation, a little bit beyond the Rhythm Nation.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up because I know it was brought up and then it wasn't. So I was wondering, is like, do you think maybe Luca makes a return and helps Stax to win?
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. That will
That's
be
what I
something I
thought,
talk
too.
about. I was going to save that for when we record with Blair, but yes, that is exactly what I think
He's
is
been
going to
too
happen. in this
quiet
match.
for, a little bit too quiet. When I think about it that way, when they do that kind of thing, that they kind of want you to forget about a certain person by having them like be totally quiet. And they mention him at one point, but then they just don't say anything else. And it's like, you want me to forget about him because he's showing up later, isn't he? The only thing, I hope he doesn't have short hair. That's the only thing, please.
Well, we do know Asher does love guys with long hair.
Yes, I do.
I also think Rizzo turns at some point too. I think Stax is going to take the entire D'Angelo family by the time it's all said and done. I think it's kind of cliche, but I think the way I would do it is Luca turns in the match at Battleground. They do a rematch at some point, and that's where Riz turns on Tony. I think you need to leave Tony all alone and completely beaten and battered and destroyed by betrayal and by physical action to really do what you want to do in this storyline. Lola took on Fallon in a match that was way the fuck too long.
I mean, it wasn't bad though. I feel like it really wasn't bad to begin with.
I didn't say it was a bad match. I just said
But
it
it was
took
long.
way too fucking long.
Yeah, it
Like,
felt long for them.
We've been talking about how short some of these women matches have felt over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
God, this match felt like it took an eternity. Also, hello, Mel.
Mel
we
confirmed.
do have a question for you. Did you already confirm it? Mayu Utami?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of there. I'm like, I knew she had left, but I wasn't sure. I was thinking it the other way around. But Mayu left Stardom and debuted the next day Marigold. That's what I was thinking the other way around. But I knew she had left and come from one to the other one. And that she's the current Marigold World Champion. I'm like, I knew she went from one to the other one. I couldn't remember the order though. But
It's Marigold. Marigold. It's not the flower. It's not the flower. It is Marigold.
Marigold. There you go.
And yes, it is Rossy Ogawa's promotion that is in partnership with WWE. But again, just because somebody's in Marigold doesn't mean that we're going to see them in WWE. They could still very easily, very well go to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Save this moment. That is correct.
Why are you telling that, Mel?
All right, so what did you think? I agree. I thought Lola versus Fallon was a perfectly fine match. Again, I will reiterate. God, this match it took forever.
It just feels more and more with the segments with Lola and Stephanie that they want Lola to get to that level. I don't want her to be honest. It just doesn't fit for her at the same time. I really don't. And then I know they're trying to like progress that Fallon Jacy storyline, but I feel like they could have done it with somebody else that wasn't Lola to begin with. I was just expecting the way it happened of like Jacy to be a factor into it, and she was a distraction. And the way that basically Lola almost threw Fallon onto Jacy, and then she did the backflip and she won. And I'm like, yay! Get off my TV now, thanks.
Yeah, we want Lola to get off of our TV, all except for obviously my tag team partner on Marvel Talk, Andre C. He does indeed love himself some Lola. We had Stephanie back here interview about Battleground. I love this. I thought this was sensational, but I want Ashley to talk about it first.
Oh, every time I see her interviews or her promos, I realize more and more how much she has grown with her English. I like the way that she's able to do the back and forth, and it fits really well, and you can still get the message that she's trying to portray to you. I love the fact that she talks about her trial, that they have pictures on the trial in Chile in 2018, and that she talks about going from I didn't get the contract, so I took that as motivation to keep going. Like I went to Japan, I went to Mexico to like keep going and improving my craft. And the way she talks about what she had to go through to where she is now. And I love the part that she says it was necessary for me to get here. And I love the fact that she talks about how one thing had to lead to the other one. And seeing things like like her talking about Mysterio and like seeing him live is one of the reasons why she wanted to be a wrestler too. And I love the how she connected it back to everything with Jordan. Is that Jordan was at the top of the TNA and Knockouts division. She wants to be on top of this women's division as well. And I love the comparisons here that she did of how she wants to grow from one to the other one the way she did over there too. But that closing line, I really loved it. It's like, when you get close to my hell, you will burn in flames. I was like, woman, what are you doing? Like, that was great. She sounded amazing. I really am proud of her because she keeps improving every single promo and interview she does. I love it. I really do. So I feel like she's getting better and better. And I'm glad she's getting that experience here to be able to like keep growing from there. But she did very well with this one.
We see her with the championship belts from CMLL, from New Japan Strong Women's Championship. She talks about how she was being a champion, but sometimes, she was living in the cold and she was sleeping on the floor, and how she bled, sweat, cried for this to make it to this opportunity. I adore this interview. I thought Stephanie did a fantastic job here. I do love the Spanglish of her intertwining her English and her Spanish. When she feels confident in what she's saying, she speaks in English. When she doesn't know what she needs to say in English, she flips to Spanish. But it's understandable, and they're using the fact that you can cut these promos like this kind of backstage, and you can go ahead and give some subtitles, makes it better, because at least then people can understand what's going on. I love this. I thought it was great. We had a Dark State promo. This is the promo we needed 3.5 fucking months ago.
Oh, jeez.
By the way, did Saquon Sugars say what I thought he said? Our leader? Reader man?
I said, there goes the mystery.
So there is no Javon leader. There is no Trick leader. The leader of Dark State is Reader man. Dion Lennox.
I mean, I get it and I don't, because I get the aspect of he was the one that was on TV. He's the one that really had a foundation as a character. So it makes sense for him to be the leader too. But at the same time, I feel we don't know enough about him for him to be the leader, if that makes sense. But I like that he mentioned it, because I was like, okay, there goes the mystery. There's definitely nobody else. So I'm like, it would have been so intriguing for somebody like Javon Evans to be like the leader of this group and come out later and say that he's behind it all. And then he decided to attack him because people were underestimating him. So he wanted to take a group to be able to like, take over like NXT men's division or something like that. And I was like, that was so intriguing. When I heard our leader, I went, huh? Say what? But yeah, he said it.
Reader man. Mr. Dark Romance himself, Dion Lennox. All right, cool. I'll be honest. I stopped taking notes for the show at this point. I don't know.
No, I wanted to keep up with them, but I couldn't. That's why I was like, just start the promo, which is the promo that we wanted all along. That's all I could think about, but I couldn't take notes of what like each profile was. But
no.
again,
I mean, I don't have notes for the rest of the show.
I don't know, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't have notes for like even the promo to be specific, because I was just focused on what they were saying.
Oh, I could do that. So I don't have it written down, but I do remember this because I really liked this promo. So Saquon Sugars introduces our leader, the guy who got pitied on, who brought us together, who's the one who's leading us and bringing us to our light, Dion Lennox. Then Dion Lennox talks about how the next person that I'm going to talk about is a person who's not only going to break you down physically, he's going to break you down mentally. He introduces Cutler James. Cutler James then talks about how the next guy is, he's the one who can chalk you. He's the one who can kind of shock you. He's the one who's always doing this and then surprising you with what he does. And he says, Big O, Osiris Griffin. And then Osiris Griffin talks about the wild card, the guy who's, gonna make people listen as soon as he opens his mouth. He doesn't say his name, but they throw up the name of Saquon Sugars. Those are the 4 members of the Dark State. Those are the 4 people who, theoretically, if done right, this could have been a really big thing. However, they didn't do it right, and it's kind of fallen on deaf ears.
Yeah, this promo so long overdue at this point. I would have done this the first couple of weeks they debuted it, and I feel like it would have helped more make a little bit more sense into what they are, who they're looking for. But
Yeah, I agree. So what do we got next,
yeah.
actually?
So now we get Kalani versus Zaria. This is
Okay.
the one that if Kalani wins, she goes to Battleground, which they were not specific about. But this is like if she wins, she gets a title shot. Um, from this though, one part I really did enjoy a lot was like they call it kind of like a backpack cannonball that Zaria did to Kalani at one point. And the way that even Soul like reacted to it, I feel like the timing was great. How they went from the cannonball to Soul's reaction right there, right away. And that moment at the end there, because we have Soul is carrying Zaria at one point, and Kelani comes in and she does kind of like a baseball slide, and basically Zaria spearing Soul at the end too, and just the way this madness started going, I felt like it started going kind of calm, and then the chaos really started in a way that just in a way I felt like it helped Kalani win at the end. Um, I like having Zaria like helping Soul get up after giving after spearing her, but I was kind of thinking, kind of in a way, almost hoping that there would somebody like Ava would come out and say, "Oh, because Zaria has been like defending Soul, like I will add her to this match or something along those lines." But at the same time, I'm glad that it's just Kalani versus Soul right now. But who knows if maybe Zaria will be a factor and she'll be like, "I won the title shot for myself," and that's why she'll kind of be an assistance to Soul at the same time.
Yeah, I really like this match. Again, we liked this match last week when we saw it. We thought it was a really good match.
Hmm.
Or was it 2 weeks ago? I forget which one it was.
Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks ago. The last time we saw this
Mhm.
match, we both raved about how good it was. The two of them are sensational together. Mama Fries was loving the hair in this match between the big poof that Kelani had going on and the braids that Zaria has with the red and the white hair
Hmm.
mixed with her basic red hair. It was great. I love this match from start to finish. I love the parallels from the match before with Zaria being caught by Soul Ruca at one point, just like Soul caught Kelani the last time. And Kelani getting the win here makes a bunch of sense. It makes perfect sense because you want to have that match. And you want to continue to piss off Zaria so that she can turn on Soul Ruca at some point.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I thought everything here was fantastic. I thought it was great. And I'm excited for Soul Ruca versus Kelani Jordan at the pay-per-view. I wish they kind of would have done the match. I didn't say I had to have the Zaria-shaped wall, but I mean, it gave us two good televised matches, so go for it.
Yeah, right after this one, we had the Joe Henry concert. I think that the part that I enjoyed the most is the fact that, like I said earlier, that he has the crowd in the palm of his hands in such a way that he's able to make such lyrics that are clever, and he connects with the crowd that they, even what he's done with the song, they're still chanting the song to Trick as Trick comes out. They go, "Whoop that Trick, Bellows bitch." It was like whatever it was, and it's like I love the fact that they're able to keep that going as Trick is coming out. And I think about it this way from Trick's character, how he goes from having the crowd in the palm of his hands to having somebody like Joe Hendry who does the same thing, but kind of similarly to him in the way they connect with the crowd. But then at the same time, Joe was able to take over Trick when it came to the crowd's favoritism here. And the crowd ended up chanting more for Joe's song than they did for Trick's song. But I enjoy this bit here with Trick coming out and interrupting because he's just got tired of the song. And it's like I like the fact that he's like, I finished my song, but I'm interrupting yours though. But yeah, I like the back and forth between both of them here. But yeah, it just gives me more and more that feeling that Trick is definitely winning that championship.
Yeah, the smarts of using the guitar on the trick shot knee, I thought was sensational timing and really well done by whoever helped put that together. I think that's a smart way to kind of soften up Trick to give a little bit of storyline context. Because again, Trick deserves it because Trick attacked Joe. It's not like Joe randomly attacks Trick and does this to him. So Joe still looks like a babyface, even though he's the one who hurts Trick here. But again, like I said, I fantasy booked it the last week. I think Trick Williams wins this title. I think he spends a couple months over there as they lead to Slammiversary, and I think you've got depending how you want to do it, you have two baby faces ready, willing, and able to take the opportunity to take the title from Trick.
Mhm.
Mike Santana makes a lot of sense. I know he's Astrid's pick because he makes a lot of sense. He's got the crowd behind him. He's kind of a big star that you seemingly want to build your promotion around. Plus, you know Joe Hendry's going away any day now once that contract expires. He's fucking gone to WWE. The other one is you have Elijah. And I know people are going to be like, no, Elijah can't be. Elijah can be a TNA world champion. And it makes sense if you continue with the WWE storytelling of this. Elijah is the one with Joe Hendry's help that eliminated Trick Williams from the Battle Royal. So to have Elijah be the one to go ahead and defeat Trick at Slammiversary would make some sense. I think Elijah's a bit of a bigger star in TNA. I think he can, as much as people like Mike Santana, I don't know how many people know Mike Santana. He did a lot of good work as part of LAX. He did a lot of good work as part of Pride and Powerful, however you want to look at them. But at the end of the day, I think the work of Elias and the reactions he can get are slightly bigger than the ones Mike Santana gets. And by the way, I hope Mike Santana's show in New York in, what is it, July? That he's putting on with Electra Lopez and Danny Limelight? Is it June 12th? Or? All right. I was
Puerto Rican weekend.
Yeah.
June 7th.
June 7th. I hope. Oh, that's a poor. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. It's a bad day for a show. WWE's running 2 shows that day. Poor Mike.
Yep. Puerto Rican weekend.
Yeah. Poor Mike. Poor Mike running that show on June 7th. But no, I thought this was a banger episode of NXT. I thought it was great. I thought there was a lot of good stuff. I think Battleground will be great. And again, for those that didn't see it in the beginning of the show, our pre-show will be pre-recorded with our good friend from Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast. We got Blair coming in and joining us. He also works with Love Wrestling under the show For Exposure, where they go ahead and talk about indie wrestling over there at Love Wrestling. So definitely go ahead and check him out at Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast or over at Love Wrestling at For Exposure. Also, the Besties will be taking over the post-show with us as we got DC Hendricks, Papa DC Hendricks, and Amanda Savage in here joining us for the post-show. I'm very excited for this. It's going to be a great time. We've had them both on individually. Now we get to have both of the Besties here together. And since it's, a holiday weekend, we got a little bit more time, so we can go ahead and book Hollywood Ashley for this show too, so she can join us. It's going to be very fun and exciting. Don't forget, this is a big wrestling weekend. Saturday night's main event, Double or Nothing, Battleground. Make sure you're watching whatever wrestling makes you happy. If you're happy watching WWE, watch WWE. If you're happy watching AEW, go watch Double or Nothing. There's some fun stuff on that show. If you want to watch Ring of Honor, I feel sorry for you, but go watch Ring of Honor. I know there's no Honor Ramble this week because of the fact that they're moving Ring of Honor from Thursday to Friday, so I'm almost certain there's no Ring of Honor post-show on Thursday night because we got the Mother Talking post-show on Friday. You can't do a post-show on Thursday without a show on Thursday, so I don't think we're doing it, but you never know. Also, I will be back defending my crown as trivia champion. Now that I'm allowed on the show this time because we're not in Women's Month, so I get to go ahead and defend my crown because I was told I was not allowed to be on screen for the last one. Is what it is. But you can go ahead and join me, Bobby Munson, Papa Smokes. I believe Lauren Goodnight is going to try to make it. Andre's going to try to make it. They're trying to bring in a ringer, try to take this crown from me, trying to bring in somebody from the Aussie wrestling scene. So, I love James Shaw. He's great, but if they convince you to come in here, know that this is my house. This is my crown. I'm keeping it. Oh, here we go. New Zealand. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize to James. I wouldn't apologize for making a mistake like this and say, oh, same thing. No. I'm going to apologize to James. I'm sorry. New Zealand for wrestling. Zealand Pro Wrestling. He is a
It's
Kiwi.
Kiwi.
The intergender rule is back in play, Ed. So welcome back. He is. Look. Normally I wouldn't care. I just say, oh, same thing. Like I say about England and Scotland, Ireland and Scotland, same difference. Doesn't matter. No. James Shaw scares me. No. I apologize. Zealand Pro Wrestling. But you can catch me. Me and my friend Andre will be doing Marvel Talk as long as the Empress of Marvel Talk, Peggy, allows us to. We'll be back next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, as we're going to be going ahead and talking about all things Spider-Man Homecoming.
Peggy comes at the right time, always.
She always shows up when I'm saying something that I'm not supposed to be saying.
When you say something dumb, that's what it is.
It's like she has fucking ESP for when I'm about to say something dumb and has to show up right at that moment. But hopefully Peggy will be back joining us as we talk all things Spider-Man Homecoming and MC Rebound next Wednesday night. Remember that if you want to, you can go ahead and check out our review of the Marvel Rebound episode of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that we did just this last week. Yeah, that timing was really fucking excellent. Now, Ashton, what do you got going on?
Digging yourself out of your hole.
Try
For me, too late. Like I mentioned earlier, Friday we'll have that Final Destination review live on the YouTube channel for with Jamie from Pario Magazine. And then we have, as Ed mentioned, the Battleground pre-show, the post-show as well. So we have that going on. We have a couple killer cuts that are happening, like Bobby said earlier, every other Friday there too. So we got that going on. A lot of happening this week, so it'll be an exciting weekend. Um, for me, you can find me on my Twitter Blue Skies Astrid Pizarro and my Instagram and Threads as Pizarro20. And as I keep going up, please sub to the channel if you haven't and click that like on the video as well.
Make sure you leave a comment too. Tell Ashton what she's doing right. Tell her about people you want her to interview, because Ashton's looking into interviews and she's trying to get some. Again, not trying to talk too much about the back end, but there's some interview stuff coming up from our local establishment. We're going to start getting back into the interview game with a bunch of us. So there's a few of us doing some interviews coming up. We're going to have to figure out like a show title for all of these interview shows that we've got coming up. So I'll have to talk to the Ogre Lord and see if we can got something. But to keep up with all things our local establishment, go ahead and follow Ole Podcast on all your favorite social media platforms. And on YouTube and Twitch, our local establishment. And remember, like Ashton said earlier, please, if you can, go ahead and leave a playlist playing. Doesn't matter which playlist you have of ours playing, but we really appreciate you leaving a playlist playing in the background during your day as we are trying to get to those monetization numbers to go ahead and get super chat so we can go ahead and get some extra monetization. StreamYard is an expensive platform that we really like using, but it costs some money, so the Ogre Lord goes ahead and pays for things like that. The fantastic graphics that I make that are horrible, that's paid for by the wonderful work of Ashton in her Canva. So, all of these things cost a little bit of money, and we love you guys. We want to try to continue promoting the best content we can for you. So if you can, throw us a sub on Twitch. Go ahead and watch some stuff on YouTube for free so that you can go ahead and get us to monetization levels that those that want to sponsor us can sponsor us. But for myself, OLED Ed Fries, for the natural Ash Pizarro, for all of our wonderful fans in the chat, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
I am in misery.